Republican John Barrasso is a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He joins us now to talk about this latest development. Senator, thank you for your time this morning. First of all, I have to start by asking you, this message that the president sent to the Iranian people, was it a good idea?
Well, the president had promised when he was running for office that he would extend a hand, and it looks like it was met with a clenched fist. I visited with the man who was in charge of our embassy in Tehran, and he was held hostage by 444 days back in the days of the Ayatollah Khomeini, and he thinks it's a good idea to try to get something going here because it's in the best interest of the world if we make sure that Iran is not a nuclear power. But I have grave concerns right now because Iran continues to work to develop nuclear weapons. In my opinion, they're also arming Hamas and Hezbollah, and they continue to threaten the people of Israel. They did that when Ahmadinejad came to the United States, to the United Nations. I thought we shouldn't have allowed him into the country to do that, but those threats continue. So Iran continues to be, based on its location between Afghanistan and Iraq, in a central location, as well as developing nuclear weapons. It continues to be a grave concern.
Well, Senator, the president appeared to extend an olive branch this week, trying to reach out to the folks there and say, we want to have a new relationship, something different. As you mentioned, it was not warmly received. Do we lose any face through this gesture that really didn't seem to succeed, at least on all fronts?
Well, no, I don't think that we did, but I think that the president, is going to continue in that way. I visited with Secretary of State Clinton on ways that we could make sure that Iran was did not become a nuclear power. That is my #1 concern, because I know with their threats, I worry about their attempts to attack Israel and other locations. They continue to say they are not. They deny a lot of things, and I just don't believe them based on everything I've seen and I've read. So those are the concerns that I think everybody in America has. Certainly the people of Israel have grave concerns about that. The other thing that the folks of Iran said this past week is they said, hey, you go first. Stop the economic sanctions, back up a little bit. But I think it's time for Iran to go first in terms of both words and actions. And the words would be to really tone down these sorts of threats that we see. And in terms of actions, allow us in to see what's really going on with what they say is just efforts to use some nuclear power, but I think is actually aimed toward building nuclear weapons.
And Senator, you mentioned a number of things there. The issue with Israel, the fact that the Iranians are telling us we have to make the first move, we have to make a change, maybe revoking some of our support for Israel or making other moves. Is there any little nugget we could give them that would be an appropriate gesture that would maybe, get things moving in the right direction?
No, I don't think we ought to give them anything first. I want to see action on their part. If they want to become part of the world community, which is what the president talked about in his message, and to welcome them in, they're going to have to do some major things in terms of allowing folks to come in and take a look at what's going on from a nuclear standpoint there. They're going to have to stop their funding of Hamas and Hezbollah. They're going to have to stop their threats to the people of Israel.
Senator John Barrasso, we thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Shannon.